You never know what's lurking in the dirt and muck of the Florida Everglades, and this pair of locals learned that the hard way when they spotted something quite horrifying below a nearby building. A huge creature had made itself at home there and had harbored a deadly secret that put the whole area at risk. The incident was during the national holiday marking Independence Day in July 2019. The tale begins with a man named Ron Bergeron getting a call. Bergeron works as a conservationist, and someone was contacting him about a terrifying creature they'd encountered. Bergeron and his co-workers made their way down to the house, only to be greeted by a shocking sight. Disturbingly, the creature causing all this fuss was a giant Burmese python. Normally, these particular snakes measure in at 12 feet long, yet this one was obviously much larger at 16 feet. According to Trend Chaser, the snake was positioned below the house's entrance, just above the floorboards. Bergeron and company were able to deal with the monstrous creature before it could do more damage. But the group faced an additional problem alongside that. The python was harboring a deadly secret. Shockingly, the python had laid around 50 eggs under the house. She was keeping watch over her nest as Bergeron reached the scene, and that's not all. Thanks to some remarkable timing, the group got there just as a few of the babies started to emerge. This was not a cute scene. To go into a bit more detail, Bergeron spoke to the NBC6 South Florida website in July 2019. He said the Burmese python poses a significant threat to the Florida Everglades by disrupting the natural food chain. One is bad enough, but 50? Think of the chaos that could bring to the surrounding habitat. With that in mind, the eggs were taken care of before the hatchlings could get away. Yet, in another shocking twist, Bergeron's team discovered that the mom was still carrying some unborn offspring. Who knows how many more might have been laid under the house if they didn't get there in time. On the subject of the python's massive size, Bergeron had this to say to NBC6 South Florida from the scene. He was helping his co-workers measure the snake at the time, as it stretched across a large section of grass. It looked like a sequence from the end of a crazy horror movie. Bergeron told the station, the snake measures 16 feet long, probably estimated to be 175 pounds. But actually, I believe the record is 17 feet, so this is an extremely large snake. It would have been devastating to wildlife and devastating to our natural food chain out here in the beautiful Everglades. We really can't overstate how lucky Bergeron and his crew were to find this python. After all, there are professional snake hunters out there who'd give anything for the kind of fortune they enjoyed. In fact, one such hunter named Dusty CRUM had a chat with the Sun Sentinel newspaper about this subject. CRUM, who also bears the moniker of the wild man in the field, said, "I'm looking for these big egg-laying females because to me, it's more important. That's future generations of snakes you can stop with one capture." Fascinating stuff, right? Yet we're still left with a significant question. How did the pythons get to Florida in the first place? Well, to answer that, we need to head back in time to the 1980s. During that period, Burmese pythons were seen as ideal pets for those who loved snakes in the Sunshine State. To get them, the animals needed to be shipped from their natural habitat, which was then Southeast Asia. And that's when the problems began. As Trend Chaser noted, some of the imported pythons were allowed to enter the Everglades. We're still unsure whether it was an accident or not, but one thing can't be disputed. These deadly snakes quickly made themselves at home, and officials have been dealing with them ever since. The python's choice of food has been a major issue, which Bergeron brought up earlier. Yes, they feast on a variety of wildlife in the Everglades, ranging from birds to other small animals. They aren't afraid to go big either, as a certain snake somehow managed to swallow an alligator. No joke. Plus, Florida panthers should also be wary of the Burmese pythons. Why? Well, a report from Kenya highlighted that a snake once attempted to take down and consume an adult leopard in the wild. The latter escaped a grisly fate, yet it suggests similar animals, like the panther, could be in danger. Oh, and the pythons are just as comfortable in water as well. Incredibly, they can stay under the surface for around half an hour if they need to. Bergeron suggested that the giant snake below the building took an aquatic route to get there, as its species is normally situated some 20 miles away. Swimming would have been a feasible way for it to travel all that distance. So what's being done to stop the pythons? Simple, really. Officials in Florida have been hiring snake hunters to deal with them since 2017. And it's a tactic that seems to be working. Trend Chaser reported that more than 5,000 snakes were seized going into 2020. But with potentially thousands more in the wild, the job isn't done just yet. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with your friends and family. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.